Hello, everybody. It's Dane from Project Nerd, and we're bringing you Film Fest interviews. And I'm here actually today joined by Herb and Joe Cremer, the Cremer brothers. And Herb and Joe are promoting a particular short film called Playdate. And that is an entry in the Dickens Horror Film Festival. And thanks for joining us, first of all, you guys. Great to be able to chat with you.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys are Jersey boys, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so I actually saw a bit of an interview that you had done recently on YouTube, and you were podcasting from a Shared Universe podcast studio, which is owned by Ming Chen, who is a great friend of Project Nerd and CF3, which is the show that I host. And I've actually podcasted from there, so I definitely recognize the surroundings. Do you guys live pretty close to there, to where he does that? Or did you have to travel in for that one?
I think it was about hour and a half away from us.
Okay.
About an hour and a half travel. Like more South Jersey.
Okay. But you guys are used to traveling because you go to a lot of film festivals. Is that correct?
Yeah. Even when they're in Jersey, they're usually down that way. They're usually closer to the city, to New York City. So it's like we're almost as north as you can get. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I've inexplicably been to New Jersey actually a couple times in the last 2 years, even though I live in Iowa, and never thought I would ever find myself in New Jersey, but I like it there. So tell me a little bit about Playdate, and actually let's just start watching the trailer so that people can see it.
Hi, what's your name?
Angie.
Angie. And how old are you, Angie?
10.
10. My daughter Amy just turned 10. Today, in fact. Would you like to meet her?
I don't know. I think I should get back and help my mom.
Are you sure? We were just about to cut the cake. You like cake, don't you?
Of course.
I would love it if Angie would come over every day to play with Amy.
I don't see why not.
Okay, so first question I have is, when you're making a short film, how hard is it to cut together the trailer? Because you want to make it interesting, but it's already a short film, so there's only so much you can go into. And is that one of your jobs in particular, or do you both kind of have to agree on it?
Well, yeah, we both do, but not only with this one, but this one has kind of a twist kind of ending or whatever that you also can give away in the trailer. So it's like between that and the fact that you got to do like roughly 30 second
About that. Yeah.
or so. It was I don't know.
It's always challenging to try to give them enough information to intrigue them, but not give anything away. So because if you see it all in the trailer, why are you even going to see the film? This film's
right.
7 minutes long or whatever, 8 minutes long. So
it's very easy to get through. So was this made during the pandemic? Did you film this during the pandemic?
No, this was 2018, November of 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one's coming to an end. This is like the end of its festival run.
Okay. And so once you get done taking your short films through the festivals and such, and I noticed this has won several awards, once you're done, do you have a method of releasing these, or are you like saving them all up to release on like a collection on a Blu-ray or something like that someday? Because I noticed that I wasn't able to watch too many of these. I looked at your website and did some browsing there, and I see there's lots of like trailers on your YouTube page and stuff, but not necessarily the films themselves. But I would like to watch more.
Well, that's because the first one that we made, our very first short, is still in festivals.
Oh, okay. So you're submitting multiple films into the same festival sometimes?
Yeah, we have several films out there in the circuit right now. Different genres too. I mean, plenty of horror, but Playdate and our first film, which is Keep in the Dark, we're committing to ending their festival run at the end of this year, beginning of next year. And then we are actually working on how we can release them, maybe do like an anthology kind of a thing, or
let's see, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because we were talking about like how to tie it all together, like a host or something, because like Hitchcock Presents, obviously, something like that. So our idea right now is maybe having the survivors of each of these horror films visiting the same psychiatrist, and that's the tie-in that for the whole show.
Okay. I love that idea. And if you get to like, I think it was like 85 minutes or something, a distributor can pick up your work as like a feature or something like that. I love that idea. On the subject of features, you're very candid about all of your productions, and I noticed I think there's only been one feature, maybe around 2015 or 16. You said the next time we attempt this, we will do a lot more pre-production. You have like probably 8 or 10 other features that are listed as being in various states of pre-production. I'm not sure if they've gotten to production, but when would you like to do the next feature film, and what do you think you need to do in terms of prep to get ready for that?
Well, I guess we're writing 2 currently that are probably going to be one of them is going to be our next feature.
Okay.
It's
one of the main things I think that I don't want to say we screwed up, but we rushed into was once we were casting and we had our cast and then we were filming, and we didn't have any table reads, almost anything like that. So once we have that for our next feature, we're probably going to do a lot more pre-production from that point to the point of actually filming.
Yeah, and we actually had planned on doing like table reads and things, but it just, for some reason, it just took so long, people dropping out for one reason or another. It was a bit of a controversial topic, so I know for a fact one of them dropped out for religious reasons, or and it was just things like that just kept popping up, and we didn't have time to do everything we wanted to do. And I don't know, yeah, it's very important, obviously, pre-production and table reads, because then you see like what's working pacing wise and scare wise, and what's working, what isn't working. That's when you flush it all out and kind of edit your script again. At that point, we didn't get to do that with our feature.
Yeah, because most of the time, if you're like indie filmmaking, you do not have the luxury of like actually blocking things out. So you're actively preparing. How much is like budget a consideration when you're talking about a feature versus a short? Like, does that give you pause?
Mm.
It does and it doesn't. I mean, obviously it's going to cost more, but at the same time, we've done fairly well with very little, very small budget. So I'm confident that we can still do that. But it obviously does, because like a feature, or a short, you can just, like, our MO is to basically find an Airbnb, rent one out, let them know that we're going to be filming there, so that it's all on the up and up, and then film a quick short over a weekend or 2 or 3 days, and that all basically costs us the Airbnb and a couple actors.
Yeah, that's kind of our biggest thing, is trying to find locations. Other than that, I mean, we own all of our own equipment, so
That's
whenever we want to film, we just start prepping. We don't have to worry about like, oh, now we got to rent a camera or sound. Like, we have it. So yeah, it's usually
crew?
location. Crew, we usually team with our friends at Outtake Productions. If you see, a lot of our films are co-produced by them, and a lot of their they co-produce Playdate with us.
Okay.
And we do the same for them. And it's really just, we kind of just pool our resources, and we have a bigger crew because there's 2 production companies together. And we're fortunate enough to meet them because Melissa, who's I guess the co-founder, she was in our first production, Keeping in the Dark, because she's also an actress, and that's how we met, and we just kind of hit it off, and
That's
very
good to
lucky.
have that.
Yeah,
It's
very
good to
lucky.
have synergy among your filmmaking peers. Now, you guys are brothers. I've worked with my brother, actually, our Project Nerd Show, CF3. I work with my brother on, he's my co-host, and I've been in a band with him and so on and so forth. So do you think it's easier to work with your brother than it would be to try and work with nearly anybody else? Now, I've never been able to have like a true writing partner, and I've done writing before and everything like that in the past. I can't even imagine like letting my brother have like a say in what goes into like my final script. Do you have arguments, or do you assign certain roles, like, well, Joe's the one who writes the scripts, I'm the one that gets to like choose the camera placement, or so on and so forth?
We try to do everything 50-50 down the line, just about. Except for obviously on set, you can't I mean, I can't do 50. I can't do half of the cinematography, you know, and he can't do half of the audio. But like,
You're like, now let me try that shot.
yeah, like, but like in terms of writing, it's 50-50. In terms of the directing and editing, it's all pretty much down the line, more or less. I would say that it's easier in the sense that we can have major disagreements about things and big blowouts about, you know, creative differences, and we know that it's not gonna. We're still going to be working together. It's not going to, you know what I mean? There's
And
no
usually the
fear
compromise that we come up with is usually the best option anyway. Like like he makes me a better writer, like just through that.
Plus 9 times out of 10, our disagreements are miscommunication.
That
where
too.
we wind up like, where I'm like, that's what I've been saying. It's like, that's what
Like,
I've been saying. And like,
dude,
what
you
are
should
arguing
text that better. You should text that with more emotion so I know what you meant.
Because almost
Yes.
all the time it's like, wait, we were basically been arguing the same point, just didn't realize it, and it was like, okay.
Okay, so which one of you is the bossiest?
I don't know.
I've got a bunch of these, so you can just
I would say
agree on them or disagree.
It might depend on
if you were watching it from a distance, you would say he is.
Okay.
He's more overtly. I'm a little bit more. I guess I try to manipulate my way more rather than just like boss into it, and he will like, no, you know what I mean. He'll be just demonstrative and get to the point where I'll be like, try to.
That's a reaction to your manipulation.
I'll try to manipulate. But,
Oh, we're learning things here.
Like, I think if people were watching us, they would say, "Oh, Joe's clearly just bossing things around." But like, I try to just stay under the radar, and manipulate it if I can.
I also think it would depend on.
But he knows all my moves at this point, so it's getting harder to do that.
I think it would depend on what part of the filmmaking process we're in too.
That's
like
true too.
writing, I would say you are.
And I'd say
But
that's.
directing, I'm
I would say writing.
almost uncompromising with direction. I'm kind
Writing is where we butt heads the most, I think, too, especially in the beginning of it.
Mhm.
Like until we know where the story's going,
That's true.
there's a lot of like, I want to pull it this way, he wants to pull it that way. But once
That's
we
the
know
most important thing to disagree about, because that's the whole germ of what's going to become your film.
Yeah. Once we know what road we're going down, it's not. We both pretty much stay on that path.
It's pretty smooth after
Which
that.
is why I think on set it's like, okay, because we know where we're going with it, so we know, there's no real creative differences at that point.
My read on it is that your initial inclination that he's the bossiest is correct, because he's in the foreground here and he's relegated you to the background. Which of you is most likely to turn into a fanboy when meeting a filmmaking idol? Or do you ever do that?
That would be Joe.
We don't really do that, but I mean,
What if it would be him?
yeah, but most of the people I would fanboy over are dead. So, yeah. I
Like
mean,
George Romero or something?
Romero, oh my God. Romero, Hitchcock, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Wes Craven's still alive, though. I'd probably fanboy with him. Kevin Smith would be a good one.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Wes Craven did that.
Yeah, I think Craven is.
Yeah, he
Recently.
passed away.
But
in
I'm
the last
not.
few years or so.
I don't have the personality really to fanboy. Like,
The thing is, I wouldn't show it.
I don't know.
Like, you wouldn't see it outwardly. Inside, I'd be like,
Well, you go to a lot of horror conventions. You have to meet like a lot of iconic filmmakers or actors there, I'm sure, because a lot of them are willing to do a lot of these indie films. That's probably the one genre that's most susceptible to like the stars of the past, like being willing to do these little indie films. Have you ever thought about getting one in one of your movies, like Bill Moseley? Or
we've talked about it, but not seriously.
Okay.
Because we met PJ Souls in Las Vegas. And,
I love her.
But it never. I don't know. Maybe we don't think we're like worthy enough to even like present that to them. I don't know.
That's just wrong, because oh my gosh. I have a friend who's making like trauma caliber movies, and he like flew Lloyd Kaufman out here to be in the film, and he went to like the Midwest Horror Fest and just started asking all these actors to be in his next movie, and they're like down with it. They're like, yeah, contact my agent. The horror is the one where they're willing to do the non-union work. So I think you guys should like go for it if you have the part that commands a recognizable face. Anyway, you guys won an award called Best Twist. Was that like, what's the favorite award that you've ever won in all of your festival going?
It's hard to say because
well, mine easy, but it's not like a weird kind of a award or anything.
It's not like a Best Twist, and it doesn't have to be. It could be like the most prestigious thing. It's something.
Well, it's the one that I liked the most. We won Best Writing. I forget where it was. I forget what festival, but it was for a feature. We won Best Writing. Okay. That's kind of the one I like the most because I think that's, especially with that feature, because the way we always described it was written way better than we executed it. You know what I mean?
Basically, we took like a screenplay that was like a 9 or a 10, and we made like a movie that was like a 6. You know, it was just like we failed.
But I'm just happy that some people,
the jury was able to like see through that and like award the script.
And that's, I guess mine. I'm still waiting for mine.
Well, I also like how when our actor.
I was gonna say I love when our actors win awards. Love when our actors win awards.
Especially the child actors. Like Bettina Sky has won some things, hasn't she? For you?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's actually the mother in this one. But the kid, the girls won. Abby has won an award, and so did Ella for You're It. She won one, and Austin for the feature. But I'm still waiting for direction. That'll be the award when I finally get a directing award.
Directing award. Okay.
That's what I want.
So I like these goals. These are the things that keep you going. One question I had about Playdate in particular. This isn't going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. The final shot. I noticed Amy is not, like, I looked really hard. I was like, she is not moving at all. Was that camera trickery, like split screen, or is that like?
That was that was in editing. She's actually a still frame.
Okay, that's what I like assumed, because I was like, either that's like a still frame and like there's trickery here, or she's like the stillest child ever.
Even when she's first revealed, it's split into a still frame, and because there's a rack focus back and forth, it was 2 different shots of her, one in focus, one out, and we just cross faded with the pull focus that we did on set. So there's a lot of
that's awesome, because I didn't even notice it in the first shot. But I was just looking because you hold on the shot longer at the end. I was like,
that's actually a funny story.
There's no way that somebody can be that
like,
still.
That last shot, because I was the one yelling cut for that shot, and I could just feel the crew getting very uncomfortable with how long I stood there before I said cut. And I think we used every second of what I filmed, though, right? I don't think we cut any of it out. So,
would you be able to, before we wrap it up here, tell everybody where they can check out Playdate and your other work?
Well, best place is go to www.jobertentertainment.com. All of our social media links are on there. You can find all the trailers, and once it's released to the public, all the information will be given right there on Facebook or definitely on our website. There'll be links.
It also has information on our upcoming screenings and any festivals that we're at, and
links to the web series that we just wrapped on in August. With Outtake Productions brought us on. It's called Kith and Kin.
Excellent. Please, everybody, check out the Cremer brothers' work. It's been great talking with you guys. Stay tuned for the next Project Nerd interview, and be sure to track us at project-nerd.com for this and other filmmaker interviews all the time, all season long. Thanks again, guys. Take care.
Thanks.